See, they go.
Oh, I'm sorry, 12 and 2. I know.
12 and 2.
Yeah.
12 and 2.
12. Man, this traffic is terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they got work on all across the same time.
At the same time.
Alright, so Romans 12 and 2. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, let's start with verse 2. I'm going to read down to verse 5. Then it's politics. Okay. Anytime now.
And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say with grace and say to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we being many are one body in Christ, and every one members one of another.
Was that verse 5? Read verse 6 and 7. Sorry.
Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy, according to the proportion of faith, or ministry, let us wait on our ministry, or he that teacheth on teaching.
Okay. So, a whole lot was said in that particular verse, but I want to hone in on, like you said, something about he has given every man a measure of faith. What verse is that? Verse 5 and a half or 6. 3. All right. And then it lists some stuff down below there, I believe. Is that right? All right. So we just gonna deal with that like couple of things. We started off reading about the renewing of the mind, and then it talks about the measure of faith, then it gives a list of basically jobs, I would say gifts in the body of Christ, and we're gonna kind of take apart some of those that every person can't have every gift. I think that's a problem. That's a problem that we have in the body of Christ. Everybody want to do everything, but everybody can't do everything. And when it talks about verse 2, renewing of the mind, when you have mind renewal, you're really trying to determine what the will of God is for your life. Now, the will of God for your life and the will of God for my life are two totally different things. And I think sometimes people get mixed up with what is the will of God for their life versus what's the will of God for somebody else's life. So we got a lot going on in the body of Christ because, okay, just want to put it out here. Like, I mean, I saw, I think that was on the news, where it went on the news. I think it was on social media. Like, Kanye West started a church. Like, yeah, Kanye West started the church and had like 25,000 people. All in white outside. And I'm like, hey, has he been called? And it's almost like people just gravitate to what is crazy. Y'all didn't know about that? Well, some of y'all didn't know, but most of the people on this side know. This side don't know, y'all did. So it's like, okay, it's like, what is really going on? Like, what has happened? Have we, you know, every Christianity has a foundation, denominations have a foundation. And I think sometimes what happens is people don't understand that, you know, you stay in the house, you add a room to your house, you don't tell the foundation. Only way you tell the foundation in the house is something wrong with the plumbing. That's why when people build houses, they pour the foundation and they put the plumbing in there first. That's one of the first things that they do. Am I right, y'all builders? I mean, that's what I see. You see pipes coming up. You're like, wait a minute, why they do it? Because once the foundation is laid, you can't disturb it. Whatever the square footage of the house gonna be or whatever you building is gonna be laid out in the foundation. And so what's going on is like the most far left stuff, that's what people gravitate to. And then they holler about how churches use. What the hell the churches use?
Right.
No, what it is people's mind don't want to be renewed and they don't know the will of God for their life. And so here's the thing. Here's the word in the church. Commitment. Folk don't want to commit to anything. That's just all it is to it. So we go to these pop-up churches where we can blend in, come in and go out and then make ourselves feel good that we've been to church. You ain't doing God no favor. If that's the case, you can stay home. Right? So we have this epidemic in the body of Christ that people, you know, I don't know what to call it, other than people are chasing a fad. And it's almost like fashions, like what's in today. You know, okay, we're gonna go with what's in today, and then, you know, when that run out, then we're gonna go over here. I mean, it's almost like people on crack. Like you keep on searching for something. You mean to tell me you have found one household of faith that you can grow in, that you got to go to all? I keep on telling people, eating at all these different tables or getting food order. I mean, because I ain't got no problem with Kanye West, but I just ain't heard him say he called preach. Matter of fact, these days you don't even hear preachers say they been called. Do you hear stories? When in my day, when I got called to preach, my pastor sent me in my office. He asked me, well, what you heard? And what did you see? How you know? These days, these folks, one famous man that folks watch on TV all the time was behind the camera. And because his daddy was the pastor, the folks told him he was going to be the next preacher. And he came off behind the camera and he got one of the largest churches in the United States. But he ain't say nothing about he was called out. So what y'all got to say about that? I want to say something else, but I'll wait. I mean, what do you think? What y'all think the problem is with us, with believers? Yeah, Now, we getting to some of that. People don't want to be corrected. So you'd rather go somewhere that whatever you do is cool. Just, whatever, just let your hair down, we gonna love you. You don't want to be corrected. I saw some in another denomination, they dealing with something, and I applaud them on their conviction. Some known alternative lifestyle folk came to this man's church, and he told them they could not minister no praise and worship, not with girls dressed like boys. And guess what? He got ripped in the internet, on the internet. But guess what? Those are the convictions that is the word of God that we stand on, that we say we stand on. And when somebody stands on their convictions, then they wrong and everybody else right. But can I tell you something? We're gonna be judged because we didn't stand up for our conviction. And you can love somebody and disagree with them. And going back to what she just said, that people don't want correction.
That's even in tradition.
Yeah, people don't want correction. So what's that? I mean, we got our tail whoop. That's why who you are today. Because you got corrected. And we see what happens with people that don't get corrections. They go to the Department of Correction. That's why they call it the Department of Correction. Because you need to be corrected. So we done gave you a chance to be in the free world, and you done made your choice that you don't want. So we're gonna give you 3 hots, and a cot. All right. So where's this come from? Is it coming from what Paul told Romans at 12:2 that you got to be renewed by? You got to be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Has it come from these sparkling gifts that we have in the church, that people want this certain gift or they want to do this? And then I'm gonna tell you something, man. I mean, church has got so commercialized, and I mean, people do what they want to do, but I ain't gonna ever pay nobody to do no praise and worship. The only reason that we pay our musicians, we don't pay them for their talent because that's priceless. We pay our musicians for their time because their talent is priceless. That's the only reason. If it weren't for that, they wouldn't get paid. But there are some things that you should do for God just because. Okay, I'm gonna pause right now. What y'all got to say? Do y'all agree? Do you disagree? What you guys say? Say that loud. What you say?
I said, I think it's interesting that people want to get paid for their services for the church, yet you have to beg and plead for people to pay their tithes, which is commanded for them to do in order for the church to function how the Lord wants us to do it, by being able to be effective in our community, being able to keep the lights on so that people have somewhere to go, but yet you want to
and had jobs. But they paid their own tax.
In some instances, during the past, has been so glamorized that you have people that have been called that it looks good because that's what they showing on TV. And folks feel like, oh, I'm gonna be a millionaire as a preacher because that's what they show on TV. So I don't need a job.
I'm trying to see what the glamorous part is.
Right.
TV glamorized.
I mean, yeah, they do preachers of LA. I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother. Yeah, what's that?
The commercialization and the socialization, I think, because I read something on Facebook, this guy was talking about all the money that the church is making, and we still have all these homeless people. I think the misconception is that the church is supposed to save everybody. You have people who don't come to the doors of the church unless they want something, or unless they need it, and that's not fair. It's not fair to say that the church should pay your light bill, but you never come to church, you don't serve, you don't pay your tithes, you don't do anything. So I think that people look to the church to save and to do for people, but nobody understands that the same thing it takes to run your house, it takes to run God's house.
Yeah. And so the church should, I think the church should take care of folks that can't take care of themselves, but not if you've been down to the palace
That's right.
and spent all your money.
Yeah.
And now you talking about your life bill. You do your life bill before you put that on.
Yeah.
But like I do, put some on.
Right.
Put some on. They ain't gonna cut it off. Sometimes you gotta pay the whole thing here now and then. But anyway, so we dealing with this. We dealing with this epidemic. Like it's almost like if tomorrow we start the church of left-handed people, we're gonna have 1,000 people just come and say, "Oh, I go to the left-handed church." I mean, it's comical, but it's sad in the whole sense. And so it goes back to what I said earlier about the foundation. So we have a foundation, we don't change our foundation. Like you can add a room, you know what I'm saying? You can remodel, you can put some paint on the wall, you can make it do what it do. I was having a conversation with a couple of our CFB pastors this week, and I was talking to them without them, and I was saying that, one of the things that I see with our itinerant system in Episcopal, and which is the AMBs, CFBs, and AMB Zion, is that you have pastors. You can't, if I'm going to a different church, every woman ain't the same. I can't treat, if I'm married to cooking, God forbid. But if I'm married to cooking, and I've been married to Carol, I can't treat cooking like I treated Carol.
Right. That's right.
It's two different things. And so what happens is, I believe this it ain't all on the parishioners. Some of this is on the pastor. Because you can't pastor the same church. You can't pastor a different church the same way. Because it's a totally different group of people. It's a totally different mindset. And so what you gotta do, you gotta go in and you gotta find out what is the sentiment of the church. What does the church want to accomplish? What do they want to do? And then you govern yourself accordingly. Like every church don't need no male code. Hello, somebody. Hell, we got to get the men to come to church first. That's a great idea. But what we're going to start a male code for and have 3 folks standing up there with mics. Yeah, I'm just saying. So that don't work everywhere. And I think sometimes what we have seen, we just duplicate. Oh, they got a senior choir here, we need one. For what? It doesn't make any sense. And so you got, huh? Oh yeah, they were committed, and then you generations of people in churches back then.
Yes.
You don't have no generation of people. We go from 5 to 40-ish to 50-ish, and then that's about it. We ain't got no old folks in here. So how we gonna have a senior choir? We ain't got it. We don't. It just don't work here. I mean, it does. Now we getting old, and we trying to train our children. Now, probably 10 years from now, we're gonna need a senior choir because I'm gonna be singing. Yeah, I'm gonna be singing because I'm gonna be looking for my Social Security. Yes, I am. Well, not maybe 10 years, about 15. But so we have them different that people are looking for something, they looking for something. It's almost like we get ready to go into our building, which is great, which is wonderful, and all that kind of stuff. I just been really thanking and praying. I told y'all, we ain't gonna be nasty, but in the flesh, oh, you gonna be nasty. I'm not gonna pray for those. The first thing y'all gonna say is, oh, where you been? Some of y'all gonna say, where you going? Good you gonna say.
Good gonna say where you going.
Yeah, she gonna say
Good gonna say where you going. You gotta bring your own.
and you cannot have this. All right. So it's we dealing with an epidemic. We dealing with a generation. I'm just gonna say it. We dealing with a generation of people that are uncommitted. Back what Stephanie said. I mean, people really had senior choir band corps, junior, senior ushers, junior choir, senior choir. And because we had generations of people that were committed, and it's almost like when matriarchs die, our families and stuff just don't be right. It just fall out. So we got to get back to that. We got to get back to the basics. We got to get back to people understanding that we have a foundation and that no matter what's new, God ain't gonna change. He just ain't gonna change. And eventually, I was having a conversation with some ministers. I said eventually, I think that I got some cousins that go to a mega church in Maryland, and they like the service, but they don't know about it. They go in and they sit in their spot, and it's always somebody different in the spot that they sit in. They are not engaged in intimate fellowship or ministry because the church is so big. Matter of fact, I don't know if you saw this on the news, but my cousin attends a church in Maryland, which they just did a great thing. They gave all single mothers cars. Now, the other part of that is, the other side of the story that people don't know is, the county that church is in is one of the richest counties in the United States. That the median salary in that county is $160,000. So they got it like that. All right, and then this is what people do. Ooh, you should be doing that. Not with the independents. You can't even buy a go-kart. Can't buy a riding lawnmower. I mean, I'm just saying. So they do great work, but there are advantages and there are disadvantages to going to larger churches versus smaller churches. And some people just like small churches. Now, I do say this, that if you ain't anointed in a small place, you ain't gonna be anointed in a big place. It's just all it is too. And I think what has happened, what Mo said, everything's so commercialized, preachers are on TV, they're writing books, which I don't understand when they have time to write books, but well, some of them do, because that work. But and I ain't, that ain't no shame. It's just, but I just think if I was at a point that I was not working, then I would be in the community that my church is in, and we would be affecting the community. I just think that's one thing that churches should do. So it's back to, we got to understand what the will of God is for our life. We got to discern the work of God, the work of having God as your Lord and Savior. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this, we're going to be done, y'all can comment on this, but I just believe this to my heart. That the reason that people are not committed to God and committed to ministry is because Jesus is not the Lord of their life. Now, you can debate me on this, but if Jesus is the Lord of your life, you can always put him first. But now, if the Lord of your life, your spouse, your job, your money, and everything else that you got going on, and people don't realize, some of the problems that a lot of people have is because they don't make Jesus the Lord of their life. If you put him first, everything else will line up. But if you got time for everything else, you don't have time for God. God will say, okay, I'll be here when you get through doing what you're doing. Because you're going to need me. That's obvious too. So, and please don't think that I'm saying that I think you need to be in church 7 days a week. I don't subscribe to that theology. There are some people that believe that, that you come to church, you got to stay a certain amount of time. I don't subscribe to that. You know that. I believe that the family is important to God. That's why I push that. That's why I keep y'all here long. That's why I tell y'all need to go out. Y'all need to do whatever you need to go to the movie. Don't mean you ain't saved because you do this and do that. Go to a concert. You need to do all that. That's what's wrong with Christians. Y'all too Christian. That ain't even a word on that. Yeah, y'all too religious. You can be too religious for your own good. Like, I was having a conversation with a priest the other day, and I said, here's the thing. I said, my mindset about ministry is totally different because I'm always asking the why question. All right. So you have revival every year, but when?
Right.
Just work preaching in the pound. What you have revival? In my day, before we had revival, we prayed. Prayer meeting. Yeah. And somebody got saved. Ain't no morning business. That old fashioned. Well, it worked. Because the folks gave you a talking before you went to revival. Now we going to revival. You of age. You need to be paying attention to what the preacher said. And you might need the morning. Then that would explain what the morning business was. The morning business was for the preacher to recognize that the unsaved folk in the house, these are the folk that you need to be focusing on. The rest of these folks saved. But these folk right here, you need to get them a word. And so that happened. But nowadays, you can join church by internet. Just fill out a form. If you can be, or you gotta be baptized. You gotta just whatever. You want to be on church? Okay, just sign this form and this and you done. So a lot of things that we, back to the commercial side, a lot of things that we do today have really messed up what's really going on. And what we have one thing. All right, I'm done. Any questions? First time my son is food. Any questions? Any
comes along, like you said, with flashing lights and music and all that kind of stuff, they're drawn to that because they're not used to work. They've been given the option to not work in church. So I feel like those kids turn into adults who are not working.
Yeah, but I'm looking at these folks that do these church hopping ain't so young.
Well, yeah, you're right.
These folks our age that grew up like we grew up, that should know better. But it goes back to the question where she said, commitment. I'm gonna tell you something. You know why folks, a lot of men don't want to get married because they don't want to commit. Women too. It's a commitment. That's a covenant. Like you saying this person is your responsibility. Some folks don't want that. Some folks just want to come over Netflix and a movie and go home. Ain't no commitment there. We gonna Netflix and chill. That's what the young people tell me. I don't know. I got Netflix, but I go sleep on it. And it's almost like, okay, so how can you expect people to commit to God when they ain't even committed to a they ain't even committed to a relationship with the folk they see.
That's the question. How can you love me when you never see? You can't love the folks when you see those when you see them.
Daily.
And I want to go back to like the New translation of that verse 2. It said, don't copy the behavior. I just like the word. It said, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world.
Right. But we doing it though.
We're doing it. And it said, but let God transform you into a good person. And the key word is by changing the way you think. We don't want to change that. Because, you know, we're all at the point that we're comfortable with stuff. And that is not what we need to get to.
Yeah.
And but until we do that, like you said, it's not going to garner any type of commitment to the spirit, because we're not going to do it in the physical.
Yeah. I agree. But that's why it's so important for men and women to be called and not call themselves. The other conversation I had with the preacher, and I'm done, we were talking about, well, they were talking about, I was listening and then I interjected, but they were talking about, you know, when people have weddings, when they have funerals, they got a time frame, all this kind of stuff. I said, let me tell you something. I said, now y'all do what y'all want to do. I said, but I was taught there 2 times when the preacher ain't in charge. They said, what you mean? I said, it's 2 times when we're not in charge. I said, number 1, a wedding and a funeral. I said, because most folks, whatever their wedding is, it's a dream wedding. Let them folks do what they gonna do that one day. And we ain't dying but one day. So if them folk want to stay enough 5 hours for Monday of funeral, she's still gonna be gone. It's dumb. You know what they say? We ain't never thought about it because y'all control freaks. I keep on telling people that membership have that privilege. I'm trying to. Some of y'all been with me for 10 years. Some of y'all been with me for 5. My thing is, when you look at ministry, the whole thing is, when I sit back, I say, what is the benefit of being a member of Oasis? And some of y'all ain't got this yet. Y'all wrestling. Y'all still want to do stuff for church anniversary. And I'm saying, this your anniversary. Sit down and be served. Because you're a member. You have worked hard. We have been through hell. So you deserve to be celebrated. And some folks still fighting that tooth and nail. Somebody else gonna come in and they gonna serve y'all and tell y'all how great you are. That's because membership has its privileges. Sit down and enjoy it. And I know for some of you, that's new territory, but you gotta do it. Why you can celebrate everybody else, but you can't be celebrated. That's how I look at ministry. Well, church anniversary, that's why I don't do no pastor anniversary. It's our anniversary. The church anniversary is our anniversary. We inclusive. So what we gonna do? We gonna cater. We gonna get some folks to come in. I mean, King gonna do some. Some folks gonna do some stuff inside. But for the most part, y'all ain't finna be standing up no damn screen beam. Y'all ain't finna do that. That's gone. Because it's a time for you to sit and be served. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Really good. Thank you.
Don't y'all deserve it?
Yes.
Well, let it happen. We're trying to fight it. Well, I'm gonna bring that. Don't bring that there. You can decorate, yeah. You can bring paper plate, but you ain't finna stand on no screaming, no chicken. You ain't finna you ain't finna pass out the road. You ain't finna do none of that. None of it.
Can they not take from? Can we have some bills?
Oh, we ain't having, I'm just making. We ain't having no funeral, man. You know, that's the funeral. All right? So, and so, that's what I'm saying, and I'm done. But people want to know, basically, you know, in ministry, what's in it for me? That's the whole thing. Like, okay, you remember, okay, wait, I'm about to let me see. People that are members of fraternities and sororities, there are privileges that we have that the average person don't have. When I travel, I purposely wear, and I don't wear a whole lot of frat paraphernalia, but when I travel, I do, because you know why? It's always something like this. I was in Richmond, Virginia. It was Birmingham. I was flying out of Birmingham. The line was long. I was waiting on, you know, just standing in line. Dude way in the front. He had the counter. I had on my frat shirt. He was like, hey! I'm looking behind me. It's 54 behind me. He was like, he was like, come on. I was like, oh, okay. No, frat don't stand in line. Membership has his thing. Got on the plane. I don't fly first class. Cause my thing is the first class don't make it. It don't make it. I see what I mean. When I get on the plane, I fly Southwest. You know, I don't worry about getting the A, B, and C because I'm going to the back end. So I go to the back. I got my fresh stuff on. The lady came by and said, "Oh, I'm a Zeta." "Oh, really? We got some seats up in the front. Come on, up in the front." Okay. Membership has a privilege. I got the rich to preach. Got ready to get a rental car. Ran to somebody else. Hey! We finna upgrade you to the premium. I said, what? I said, I got economy. You know what I'm saying? I got economy. I ain't paying $20. No, I'm gonna put you in the Mercedes. You gonna try? Okay then. Membership has its privileges. And so that's what I'm trying to get us to move towards, that there should be a benefit for being a member of this church. All y'all, you know, I mean, I'm personal. You can talk to me. You ain't got to make no appointment. And then I was telling the priest, I said, first of all, y'all got 30 folk, and y'all want to have an administrative assistant. Why? You got 30 folk on the world. You ain't seeing for 15. Why do you have an administrative assistant? Well, I said, cause you can see somebody else at it. I said, when preachers want me to preach, they don't have to go through 3 or 4 folk. You know why? They got my number, call me. Okay, Doc, when you want to come, let me look on my calendar. I got it right here, everything on my phone. Okay, I'm free. Now, what I will do, I might call Felicia and say, put this on the book, make sure I own the book, because I will double book it. I forget. But now, I won't say, you need to call Sister Prentice. And then, you know, she'll get back. You call my phone. The person that you need to talk to is me, right? So why need an administrative assistant? Why? Because we've seen other people. TDJ got an administrative assistant because he needs one. He also has a sermon research team. That they have a meeting about the next series that he's going to preach. And he got folk to research. The folk told, you saw at Eddie Long film, his social minister just told on him. Said, them sermon he was preaching, oh, them were my sermon. Y'all didn't see that? Yeah. Yeah. So I ain't that big that I need an administrative assistant. That sounds good, that sounds nice, and all that kind of stuff. But if you got an administrative assistant, you need to be paid like an administrative assistant. And not just getting folk type, all right, I'm done. 7:03.